Well, it's that time of day again. Man, I don't want to do this, but I have to, man. I definitely have to. We're gonna be ranking every single BFDI episode. Now, this is a total of 11 episodes, not counting the 12th one. So that's probably like 2 hours of watch time. Or 1 hour of watch time, I'm not sure. But I watched these episodes to see if they're really good. And are they any good? Probably so. So let's go ahead and talk about BFDI, the first ever episode first.
So this is a pretty weird episode of ranking this whole opinion. When I first rewatched this, I didn't really think most of it because this is a BFDI episode. But rewatching it as this year, I was kind of sad. The main focus is that basically after BFDI 25, everybody finds out that Leafy stole Dream Island and she wants them to get, well, nothing. So basically what they're trying to do is like a continuation of BFDI 25. It's a pretty good concept for the first few minutes, but once you get over it, it's kind of getting a little bit boring. Also, the fact that it's just literally the same characters from the first season. It could have been something else, but in my opinion, after this whole sequence and they showed the new contestants, it was a really weird change to pick from. But hey, I'm not saying this episode's pretty bad or good. I'm just saying it's a little mid. And I'm not saying that the episode is bad entirely. There's other episodes I would not watch besides this. But for now in this season, I think that it's not good or bad. It's just mid.
For my opinion, BFDI 1 is pretty much a mid episode. But however, with the 5 episodes we have for this part, yes, it's going to be split into 2 videos. I kind of want to talk about BFDI 2 because I think there's a lot of stuff that we need to talk about.
So BFDI 2 is pretty okay in my opinion. It's like a continuation from BFDI 1. But I don't think it should have been continuing like this. I think it should have showed the other contestants first before the eliminated contestants. But in my opinion, it's pretty okay. I like the art style that they used for this episode because it's early BFDI and it gives you some nostalgic vibes about old videos like Dinosaur Office, other BFDI shows, and other TV shows that are out there. And I'm really glad it's given something like that. But this episode is kind of underrated. I don't really see a lot of people talking about it. Basically, Donut gets eliminated in this episode. The contest is basically, well, just to find some yo-yo berries. And that's pretty much it for the contest, in my opinion. But the only thing I didn't really like about it is that the elimination. The elimination isn't bad. However, it's a little bit unfair. Because Donut only got 1/2 the screen time for the first episode. And people just saw them as a flower ripoff. I mean, I would see myself as a flower ripoff too if I had to rip off a contestant. But still, it doesn't really matter. In my opinion, I feel like the other teams should have lost because technically they have a huge crowd of contestants on the team. So I think the other team should have won. But also at the same time, it would make sense. Team No Name is literally like the longest team. And Wolverines, in my opinion, it's just an underrated team, and I think they should have won the contest. But enough about the contest. How's the elimination? Well, in my opinion, the elimination is pretty good, but Donut getting eliminated is slightly unfair. For the first time, I thought Pin would have been eliminated when this first came out. When this first came out back in the 2000 era of the OSC, I didn't really like Pin a lot, but also didn't really care about Donut. So in my opinion, I feel like Donut should have stayed in the game for like at least another episode. And it's kind of sad to see that a lot of people didn't like him, but hey, he's favorable now in Teapot. Overall, I think this episode is pretty okay. There's nothing really bad about it. So, yeah.
I would say that BFDI 2 is the best, but not technically at all. Hey, we don't need to talk about that. But there is one episode we kind of need to talk about. It's not really good.
In my Teapot review episode on my other channel, I said that Teapot 3 isn't good because it was really short. This is literally Teapot 3 before Teapot 3 in 2020s. So, BFDI 3, it's pretty weird to say the least. With 6 minutes of the whole episode, they could have done a lot with it. In my opinion, I felt like that it was just rushed to get through the date. And in my opinion, I think there should have been a little bit more time put into the episode. We didn't really see a lot of character screen time like Book, Yellowface, Puffball, Gelatin, or even Golf Ball. I mean, they only appear in like one scene and that's it. Also, Purple getting her own speaker box is kind of crazy. They just kind of wanted to make a host because I don't think they wanted to make a contestant a host. So I think that TV's out of the question. But how's the elimination? In my opinion, this is the weirdest elimination. Poor Dora though. Dora, in my opinion, should have really been eliminated.
In the same section as Teapot 3, where it's not really good, it's not really bad also, but Teapot 3 takes it a little bit step further. It has the same challenge from the last 2 episodes, but it combines it with one big challenge. Overall, they should have done this one like years ago. However, that's not the greatest episode. It's not good and it's not bad, but I think BFDI 4 is probably the best episode in my opinion.
BFDIA 4, one of the most underrated episodes that nobody is really talking about. And I kind of can see why. There's not a lot to say about this episode, but there's also not a lot to say bad about the episode. It's kind of there, but it's also highly underrated. It's a really good episode, and no, it's not because I wanted to watch this on rewatch. Okay, maybe like that. But listen here, this episode kind of slaps. There's like one thing I didn't really like about it. Buck isn't really interesting in this season, but also in this episode, she isn't really that interested in this episode. In my opinion, I feel like Tennis Ball would do a much better competitive whole personality if he wasn't like a nerd. But hey, Book is like another nerd, so it doesn't really matter. Like twinsies. Anyway, I'm kind of getting off topic. The challenge, you have to make your own dream island. Eliminated contestant with a tail drop. A little bit unfair in my opinion, because, well, they didn't really do nothing. But this was like back in the day before BFDI. Well, not before BFDI, after BFDI, where she wasn't really that popular. The most popular contestant, in my opinion, was Fiery and Gelatin, because it was kind of funny. And the Free Smart Gang. Speaking of Free Smart Gang, I don't really like Ruby a lot in the season. And then this episode, she kind of just was there. But the whole episode, in my opinion, is good.
Before we get into BFDI 5, I want to say that I'm just going to talk about the actual episode. There's like BFDI 5A, BFDI 5B, 5C, 5D. I'm not going to really talk about that. I just kind of want to get the actual thing over with. But I will be talking about the game in the next part, and so on and so forth. So let's just talk about the 5th episode.
I cannot describe words how much this episode really kind of sucked. As a 4-3 series about this one episode and a whole freaking game about it, and the producers did not want to make it because, you know, kind of lazy. I'm kind of sad because this episode had a lot of focusing on the characters, Pin and Bubble, but also could have done more with the episode, with the elimination, the contest. Also, them bringing back Leafy for just a little segment was kind of weird. But also, in my opinion, the contest is just to get to Yo-Yo Mountain. You don't need to watch every single series of the whole episode just to see what happens. It's basically just divided into 4 parts, but one of them being a video game, and one of them just almost canceling BFDIA. But hey, we got BFDIA 6. Anyways, kind of getting off topic. This is pretty bad in my opinion. I don't care about it, but it's also not good. And I'm not saying it's mid either, because it had a lot of potential. The one thing they could have removed is Leafy being from this little segment, but I guess it can give props for the Fiery and Leafy arc, but whatever, it's mid.
That's the first part of BFDI episodes all ranked. Thank you guys so much for watching. The second part will probably be later this month. I'm trying to get this out this month, but all we gotta say is we need to see if there's gonna be any better episodes. Hey, when BFDI 12 comes out, I'll probably watch that and make a review on that and put it in the video. Who knows? Anyways, peace out, y'all. I'll see you guys in the next video.